Hi everyone, this is M.Alfur.leadershipWala. I welcome you all to my new video, and today I am going to ask some question about overcoming procrastination with Sesame, and I hope you guys like it and enjoy this new video. And if there might some problem with my language, or there are certain words that are difficult for me to speak, so please help me about this one. uh, let's start it. Hi Maya, how are you? Hi Maya,
Hi, Alfred. What's on your mind?
how are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. What about you?
I am also fine, and today our discussion point will be understanding procrastination. Are you ready?
I'm not catching that. Broke respiration?
No,
Could you
no.
clarify what you meant? Okay, I'm listening.
Procrastination.
Oh, last edition? What are we looking at?
Procrastination.
Got it. Procrastination.
Yes, yes. Sorry about.
Makes sense. You no worries at all. Procrastination, it's pretty much a universal struggle, right? Um
Okay, and my first question is, what is procrastination and why do people struggle with it?
Yeah, good place to start. At its core, procrastination isn't really about being lazy. It's actually an emotional regulation problem. Basically, people put things off because they associate those tasks with negative feelings, stress, boredom, frustration. We avoid those feelings in the short term, but then they build up and the procrastination cycle keeps going. Everyone does it to some degree. It's like this weird human thing we all deal with.
Okay, and my next question is, what is the most common cause of procrastination?
Honestly, perfectionism plays a huge role for a lot of people. They're so afraid of not doing something perfectly that they don't even start. It's like paralysis by analysis. After that, I'd say it's often a lack of clarity, not knowing where to begin, or the task feeling too overwhelming. Sometimes it's just emotional baggage, things we associate with past failures or bad experiences.
Okay, and my next question is procrastination a habit or a mindset?
That's a really good question. I- It's probably both, honestly. It starts as a mindset, like what we just talked about with avoiding negative feelings, but then it becomes a habitual pattern. The more you put things off, the easier it becomes, which then reinforces the mindset. It's this kind of self perpetuating cycle. The good news is habits can be broken.
Okay, and how does a fear of failure lead to procrastination?
I think you might have phrased that one strangely. Did you mean how does fear of failure lead to procrastination?
Yes, yes.
Sounds like there might be some audio issues making it come across as different words.
Yeah, just you told.
Right, fear of failure. Fear of failure is huge. When people are afraid of not measuring up or making mistakes, they get stuck in analysis paralysis. They overthink things so much, they end up doing nothing at all. It's safer to avoid the risk of failing than it is to put yourself out there and actually try. But the irony is, not trying guarantees a different kind of failure, the failure to even begin.
Okay, how does stress influence procrastination?
Stress and procrastination have this tricky relationship where they feed into each other. When you're stressed, your brain actually shifts into a more primitive mode, basically, focusing on immediate threats rather than long term goals. That makes it way harder to work on tasks that feel overwhelming or require sustained effort. So, stress makes you more likely to procrastinate, and then procrastinating actually makes you more stressed. Vicious cycle, really.
Okay. Why do we why do we delay a task we know are important?
That's the $1 million question, isn't it? It
Yes.
comes down to this disconnect between our rational and emotional brains. Logically, we know we need to do something, but emotionally, we just don't want to deal with whatever feels hard about it, the boredom, the difficulty, the fear of not doing well. Our emotions are pretty powerful, so they can often override our logic. It's like knowing you should eat healthy, but grabbing pizza anyway.
Okay. What does lack of motivation play in procrastination role?
A lot. Lack of motivation isn't usually the root cause, it's more of a symptom. When you start procrastinating, it actually erodes your motivation. The more you delay things, the worse you feel about yourself for avoiding them, which then makes it even harder to get started. Motivation is fragile. Once it starts to slip, it's hard to get it back, which makes the procrastination cycle even deeper.
Okay. How does
What's next?
overthinking stop us from taking action?
Overthinking just completely freezes you. When you're stuck in your head, analyzing every possible scenario or potential outcome, you can't actually move forward. It's like you're doing all the work, but never actually making progress. Overthinking basically creates more and more hurdles that don't exist outside your head, making the task seem harder than it really is.
Oh, wow. And my next question is, can low self-confidence increase procrastination?
The connection's pretty rough, but I think you meant how does low self confidence increase procrastination? Is
Yes.
that right?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, yeah. Um, Low self-confidence and procrastination are totally linked. When you don't believe in your ability to handle something or succeed, you're more likely to avoid starting in the first place. You're basically protecting yourself from the potential of being proven wrong. Avoiding the task protects your self-image. But of course, that avoidance just reinforces the feeling of inadequacy.
Okay. And my next
What's the
question is,
next?
can perfectionism actually make procrastination worse? Perfectionism.
Actually, perfectionism.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, perfectionism actually makes procrastination worse. It's counterintuitive, right? You'd think someone who wants everything perfect would be motivated, but actually, they get stuck. The bar is so high that they feel overwhelmed even starting because they're afraid they won't meet this impossible standard. So they keep delaying, hoping to somehow magically be in the perfect headspace, which never comes.
Okay. And my next question is, how does procrastination affect productivity?
Pretty obviously, procrastination tanks productivity. But it's not just about getting less done. When you procrastinate, you're constantly switching between tasks, which costs you energy. Plus, the looming tasks create mental clutter, which makes it harder to focus on what you actually are working on. So, even when you're not procrastinating, your productivity takes a hit.
Okay. And what are the long-term consequences of procrastination?
Long term procrastination can create a really snowball effect of consequences. Chronic stress, anxiety, even depression can build up because of that constant tension. Your relationships can suffer since you might miss deadlines or let people down. And overall, you tend to get stuck in a pattern where you avoid things, which limits your growth and opportunities in the long run. It's kind of like mental debt, where it keeps piling up until it becomes overwhelming.
Okay. And how does procrastination impact mental health?
It's Pretty direct. Chronic procrastination raises stress, which impacts sleep and overall mood. Then you've got guilt and self criticism on top of that. It erodes self esteem. And the longer you avoid things, the more overwhelming they become, creating anxiety. It's this cycle that can contribute to feeling pretty hopeless over time. It's way more than just not getting things done, it affects your mental well being.
Okay, and can procrastination damage career growth?
I think you mean career growth, right?
Yes, career growth.
Right. Yeah, procrastination can definitely sabotage career growth. Missed deadlines, rushed work, and not being seen as reliable can hurt your reputation. Opportunities to learn new skills or take on challenging projects might be given to someone else. Basically, it makes it harder to stand out and get ahead.
Right, and I think my next question will be how does it affect relationship and responsibilities?
Definitely. Procrastination shows a lack of respect for others' time and commitments. If you're always dropping the ball or delaying things, it erodes trust and creates tension in relationships, whether it's personal or professional. Also breeds resentment because people end up picking up your slack or getting frustrated with your unreliability. Makes it hard to build and maintain strong bonds.
Okay, and my next question: how are the first steps to overcoming procrastination? What are sorry?
Procrastination, you mean? Yeah, a
What
lot of
are the first
people,
steps to overcoming procrastination?
right, first steps to overcoming procrastination. Honestly, start small. Don't try to overhaul your entire system at once. Pick one tiny thing you've been putting off, like responding to one email, and just do it. Building momentum is way more important than giant gestures. Also, figure out your specific reason. Are you overwhelmed, scared of failure, or just bored? That self awareness is key.
Okay, and my next question: why is time management important in overcoming procrastination?
Time management isn't just about efficiency, it's about control. When tasks feel less overwhelming because you've broken them down into smaller scheduled steps, it's way easier to actually start. It also helps with that mental clutter we talked about. Knowing what you need to do when cuts down on anxiety keeps you focused. Good time management makes tasks more approachable, less scary, and therefore less prone to delay.
Okay, and my next question: what role does discipline play in beating procrastination?
Discipline is crucial, but here's a subtle thing. It's not about forcing yourself into pain. It's about building small, consistent habits that overcome those emotional roadblocks. Discipline is showing up even when you don't feel like it, starting with that one tiny task we talked about. That builds momentum and makes discipline feel less like punishment and more like taking care of yourself.
Thanks. And what is the 2 minute rule and how does it work?
The 2 minute rule is super simple. If something takes less than 2 minutes, do it right away instead of postponing it. This could be anything from responding to a quick email or putting away something. The idea is that those small tasks just pile up and can create big anxiety. By dealing with them immediately, you're removing friction and building small habits of action. Plus, the momentum from completing something starts the positive cycle. It's shockingly effective.
Thanks. And I think it's very helpful because today I think I make too much mistakes.
I'm glad you found it helpful. Hey, everyone makes mistakes, especially when they're working on something important like this. What you're doing, figuring this stuff out, that takes effort. Just the fact that you're addressing it is a step forward, honestly.
Thanks. And that's it from my side today, guys. And I hope you guys like it. And if there might some problem with my language or audio problem, I try my best to uh, reconnect it again. Allah Hafiz.
No worries at all. Hey there.